absolutely go back and do things differently in a heartbeat. So then why did I do it? Why did I retire and take Social Security at 62 if I had no retirement savings, no pension, and I didn't own a home? I want to share a little bit about my life. I'm not going to go back and tell you what I was born, so don't worry.
Y'all ain't got no
But here's
choice.
about my life that contributed to my circumstances. Well, first, let me make a distinction between excuses and reasons. I think making excuses is a personality defect. I think it's an ugly character flaw. An excuse is something people use to deflect blame and play the victim. We use excuses to be sure that everybody knows that there were circumstances or people who caused our failure. It wasn't us. An excuse is used to avoid responsibility, and when you avoid responsibility, you also avoid learning from your behavior. Yes, there are reasons for my failure to retire in a financially responsible way. Yes, certain circumstances and other people played a role in my failure. But my circumstances were not unusual. Other people had similar circumstances to deal with. Other people may have had more difficult circumstances to deal with. The difference is my behavior and my decisions landed me where I am. And changing my behavior and my decisions would have changed the result. Let's give an example. Let's say you're late to work. Circumstances that might have played a role of bad weather. You get stuck behind a slow driver on a single lane road. You end up hitting every single red light along the way. My behaviors that could have prevented my being late would have been to grew up thinking that everybody lives paycheck to paycheck. Next, I was a single parent at the time. My youngest was only a year old and the oldest was 6 years old. I lived in an economically depressed area. But during that time, I finished my bachelor's degree while I worked full-time, and then I moved to an area where the jobs were more abundant and they were paid as much better. Those were good choices. But although I was making better money, I was still living paycheck to paycheck. Bad choices. I finally learned how to budget when I decided I wanted to buy a house. I studied Barry Hunt at Chief State Living in Dave Ramsey. I saved and increased my credit score and I was able to buy a house. But then I stopped budgeting. Bad choice. I don't know why. I had achieved my goal of owning a home, but I was back living paycheck to paycheck. I'd save if I had a short-term goal like going on vacation to buy furniture, but I never saved. And I worked for employers who matched the 401k contributions, but you know what? The match for $0 is $0. When my youngest son turned 18 and joined the Army, and his brother was living in San Diego, I was living alone. I had friends in the area, but I had no family. All my family was out west. So I decided to sell my house and move to San Diego. The housing market where I wasn't the greatest, but I did have a little bit of equity in the house. It wasn't enough to buy a house in San Diego's real estate market, but it was enough to live on my own. Yes, I was the idiot